Hello and welcome to an episode of Flying High with Flutter. I'm your host, Alan Wyma, and today I'm with Kendi J. Kendi is a Flutter developer who is, I believe, must be working with AR because you did a talk, I believe it could have been FlutterCon, I'm not too sure, but about how to use AR with Flutter. And I thought that was a very interesting topic. So, hello, welcome. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Ellen. Hi, Flutter guys. Honored to be here. My name is Kendi. No, I don't work with with AR, but I work with Flutter, and I did a talk at Flutter Heroes with Flutter and AR. Super honored to do that. Besides that, I am the co-organizer for Flutter Developers Kenya, and I also give technical talks and enjoy myself with developers and learn a lot from them.
But you are doing Flutter, you said, right?
Yeah. So yes, yes.
So, how long have you been doing Flutter for?
I've been doing Flutter for quite some time since the first release in December 2018. However, I was just trying to learn the framework, and then I started writing like a real Flutter code or other production code sometime during the COVID time in 2020.
What were you doing before that then? Were you a student or were you working in another field?
No, I was still a student. I actually graduated sometime in 2021. So even
Hmm.
when I started like doing production Flutter apps, I was still in school. Hmm.
You were still in school. And what were you studying in
Yes.
school?
I was studying business and information technology,
Oh,
and then I decided to like lean more on the technology bit because I found it a bit intriguing. Like especially when I learned about writing mobile applications, I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do at the end of the day.
mobile applications. So when you're doing that degree,
Yeah,
you said it was business information. Is that what I heard correct? Business information systems?
yeah, yeah. Business
Okay.
information, yeah, and IT.
And IT. That's one whole major together.
Yeah, precisely.
Okay. So what's that actually like? Because I'm so used to people taking CS, right? Computer science. That one obviously I know quite well because I have that degree. What's your degree that you took? I mean, what were you doing? Because it sounds like there's definitely a business aspect to it. So was it kind of like something that a business analyst would take so that they understand coding, but also understand how it works for the business? Or how exactly does that kind of major work?
So it's a course that has both business and IT in it, and you just get to be taught a little bit of what the business part of it is, and also some little bit of IT. So it just depends on you on what field you want to like fully move to. So I decided to like go to the IT bit because I found like problem solving using the tech quite intriguing for me. I wasn't really that much of a fan of the business bit. However, it was like uh, a good thing to like know. But the IT bit was more intriguing for me.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it is. A lot of people kind of walk into that and they find out that coding is a little bit interesting, but they also kind of do the opposite, where they think they're going to like coding, and then they find out, this is not for me. I don't like the long
Yeah.
hours and lots of concentration and remembering all these things. Oh, that's
Mhm.
interesting. And also, I mean, I have to ask because there's not a lot of females who take this kind of path. I mean, was your class a mixture of both girls and boys, or was it like maybe 80% guys or 50-50?
Well, that's actually an interesting question. So, most of the time, I used to be like the only female student. There are some courses I was actually the only female student. Some were like 50-50. The business bit, you find the ladies are more than the guys, but the IT bit, the guys were actually more than the ladies. So, yeah, it's more or less like the tech industry. You find that you find more guys are software engineers, and then in a team you find like you have like one lady or two in like a team of five guys or something. Yeah,
Oh, now was that good for you? Because I mean, must be lots of guys who want to be your partner, right? If you work together.
it was interesting. I mean, it was cool. So you just learn. I think I just took it easy,
What do you mean by take it easy exactly in this situation?
like just being in class, learning with everybody else, and just
Oh, okay.
doing the yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I ask is we had one female classmate, and
Mm-hmm.
initially a lot of guys want to know her because why is there a girl here? And also if you only see guys all the time, you're just like okay, you want to know her more. And then she actually had a boyfriend in class, so that's how she met her boyfriend was they had the same classes together. So just kind of curious about your side, but I did see a lot of that. But kind of coming back, it seems like you're really popular. Is We have another fan over here, Alex. I don't know if you know who he is. You're the African Flutter hero, apparently.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I know Alex. That's my good friend.
Is a classmate?
No, 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 not
No.
classmate. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all very excited that you're here. You saw mobile development, but when you were learning mobile development, were you doing native apps in class, or was this something outside of your class?
So in class we mostly used to like being taught the programming languages like Java and C sharp, the basics. However, when I started like getting more into this programming thing, I decided to first join tech communities. That's why I got to learn like different tracks in IT. Like we have artificial intelligence, ML, and such stuff, web development, mobile development. So I decided to like now start trying to like find my own niche, and then I started learning a bit of mobile development. That time we started learning with Kotlin. However, I wasn't that much sold on the Kotlin bit, but through attending these tech communities I got to learn about Flutter, and that's when I started like doing more research on Flutter, trying to understand what this framework is. you know I still had school, so I didn't like do more projects on Flutter. But afterwards, I was like, you know what? Let me give this thing a try. And
Okay.
I also, yeah, and giving a lot of tech community talks on it as well.
Tech community talks.
Mm-hmm.
For what kind of communities though?
Oh, mostly Flutter. Oh, by the way, I mention the lead for Flutter Kenya?
No, what does a
Yes.
lead for Flutter Kenya actually mean though?
Okay, so here we are really, really high on tech communities. Like we have the Google developer groups, DSCs and such stuff. So we have a community called Flutter Developers Kenya. I helped co-organize it, or rather co-start the event, and we've done a couple of things. I think that's why you saw the Flutter University. We used to like go do give students insights about Flutter, teach them what Flutter is and such stuff. So we built like a tech community, a Flutter tech community.
Mm-hmm.
So I, um, I was a lead. I still am a lead for it, and we normally hold like lots of events. Every Wednesday we do like Flutter vibes. Like we just come together, discuss what stacks we are working on, what challenges we're facing and such stuff, and generally discuss what Flutter and the new updates from the team as well.
For which team do you mean?
Yeah, from the Flutter team.
Oh, okay. But every week you talk about updates from the Flutter team?
Not really. It's like let's say there were new updates from Flutter, especially from Flutter Forward. So anytime we want to like discuss, we literally have like different topics and try to see what was the update from this particular update, try to discuss through it. You remember when Sound Null Safe was officially announced? It was like an interesting thing because you find most people need to like migrate their project to now Sound Null Safe.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to like understand their problems. Some are really having challenges because you might find some core packages are still not yet migrated. So it was a bit of a challenge. And then we tried to like discuss things through, try to see any alternative for those particular core packages and such stuff, and just share our experiences with the updates.
Okay, so when there's a new release, you go through the kind of the change log and discuss the changes, right?
or if there is any interesting topic to like discuss, like let's say how do you go about platform channels, trying to like connect your native application with Flutter. So yeah, we hold such events and just discuss things through. You find most of the time like people from the community already have experience with this, so they like try to shed lights to the rest of the people.
Oh, are you one of the
Yeah.
people who shine the light on them, or?
Yes, I discuss a lot of things with them as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, I think Flutter team uh, somewhat recently did that event in Kenya. Did you help to put that on, or were you involved in that at all?
Yes, I was actually. I spoke at the community day at this as well. It was really, really an honor to have them come to Kenya actually, and they got to meet the Flutter leads and all, and it was really, really amazing.
I have to ask because I mean Kenya is not on the top of my list. I'm living in Hong Kong, so obviously Hong Kong, China are on the top of my head, but I never figured about Europe and USA. But Kenya has never it's never come to my mind that Kenya would be a place to put on an event. Like, what was the? Do you understand like the reasoning behind it? Is it just that, like I was saying before, does Kenya just have like a lot of Flutter developers that I just didn't know about, or how did Kenya come up on the list?
I also don't know. I think that's Google's decision, but I feel like we've also have had like a very vibrant community in Kenya. Not only the Flutter community, we have other very, very vibrant, especially the Google developers group. You find that they hold an event and people like around 1,000 or 2,000 people show up. So it shows that there are really big things going on here. And we also have like other African countries that are really, really vibrant, like Nigeria and South Africa. So I think they settled for Kenya, which was an honor for us.
Yeah, what I hear is Africa is developing quite quickly and quite a lot. That's what I think I understood why they decided to do it in Africa. But
Mm.
yeah, it just seemed like I don't know. When I heard the news, I was like, "Is everybody in Kenya a Flutter developer or something?" Because I felt like a lot of Kenyans just came out of nowhere, and the whole place was packed. Right? I mean, how many people were actually there? Do you know?
I don't know the quite the amount really, but a couple of people are here. And then just like you said, Africa is really expanding. Like other big companies are also setting up their companies here, like Microsoft and Google. So it makes sense that they would actually decide to like host a big event in Kenya.
We have your friend Flutter University is saying that I suppose Kenya is the biggest Flutter community in Africa. Would you agree?
I would, because we've also been very, very vibrant, and like I told you, we've also been keeping updates every now and then. So yeah, but we also have other people from Nigeria who are also coming up real, real quick.
Nigeria. So I mean, obviously you're rooting
Hmm.
for Kenya, but if Nigeria and Kenya were kind of doing a Flutter competition, who do you think would be the better people?
I don't know. I would go with Kenya, but Nigerians are really aggressive as well, which is really
Yeah.
nice.
Is is there more events coming up that are kind of going to be that massive as Kenya, or is that just kind of a one-time thing, or do you have any idea what's going on?
I am not fully aware of any big events that are coming up, especially in Kenya. But for precisely for Flutter, I'm not fully sure about that. But there is one again in Nigeria that's called Flutter Bites. They
Mm.
will be hosting an event. I think sometime in, is it October or, no, or September? I'm not fully sure the dates. But yeah.
We have quite a few people in the audience who are saying that Kenya would win. Kenya most
Yeah,
definitely.
most definitely. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Now, kind of coming back to the topic, right? Uh, was this FlutterCon that you talked at, or was it Flutter Berlin? I think that you did this
No,
talk about AR.
it was Flutter Heroes. It was in Italy.
How was it go to Italy? I've never been to Italy.
Oh, I love Italy. Italy is pretty nice. I love their food, and the
Mhm.
culture there is also really amazing. I went there sometime last year during summer. It was hot, pretty
Ooh.
hot. Yeah, and then I went back again in February. It was now really cold. I think it was some bit of winter. It was really interesting though.
What got you into AR exactly? I mean, how did you get interested in this topic?
I was actually very curious. One of my friend who commented here actually was like, "Have you ever tried to like interact with AR?" And I'm like, "No." It was like, you should probably check it out." And I was
Mm.
like, "Okay, let me try to like check out how what AR is," because I knew I knew VR a bit, but then I was like, "Okay, let me check out what AR is," and then I was like, "You know what? Let me try to see if I can actually integrate it with Flutter." And I got some resources to like play around with the tool, and yeah, it was pretty interesting. You know, I look forward to like building something way bigger than just the examples.
Did you make the AR part, or you just integrate with AR?
I just integrate with the AR. I'm basically playing around with the packages that are available on pub.dev. But I
And
feel like there's a lot of
mhm.
information out there that isn't fully tapped, so it's still a work in progress.
So my understanding about the AR stuff is that you would need to use like the native coding stuff. Like Swift has their own package. I'm sure Android has their stuff, or you can use Unity or whatever else. But is it that for these Flutter packages, is it that I could do everything completely with Dart? I don't need to step into some video game framework or anything like that?
I think it might depend with the complexity of what you're building, of which
Mhm.
you might like get into the native side of it. However, for what I have at the moment, I'm only using the packages that are provided and a little bit of the native side, just tiny. Because
Tiny
also
whiny.
my
Okay.
my understanding with it as well was like you need to like learn unity and understand how to like go about it, but then
Hmm.
you know the way Flutter has made it easy for the communities, especially like having different packages for almost everything. So yeah, I actually prepared some bit of slides. So basically, wanted to know like what AR is and why is it important. From my understanding of what AR is, it's like an interactive experience because you find like most people learn through image visualization. So I think AR, if you're going through the education bit, it's a good tool for you to like understand what you're trying to learn, what you're trying to experiment and all. Also when it comes to like other aspects, especially let's say you're in the field of engineering and you want to like learn how to like integrate different parts of whatever you're engineering into, let's say it's an engine, a plane engine or something, then I think AR is an amazing tool for you to like help you because it literally visualizes and it also helps you to like connect the dots into it. So yeah, it's an interesting tool to like dig into in particular fields. And oh yeah, what fields is in are there currently applied? So we have the engineering bit. Basically, just try to like look for an image or rather a video. You see like how easy this lady's like trying to like um
Yeah, if you don't
what
mind to describe, because not everybody is watching the video when we have
mm-hmm.
the podcast come out. So she's got this kind of tablet, and she holds it up, and she's scanning. Looks like some factory equipment. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, do
And
you understand what she's doing exactly, or this is just kind of the idea? Seems like a marketing kind of of video.
well, it seems like a marketing, but at least it gives like a visual
Hmm.
idea of what's going on. Maybe we could try like the next video. You see,
Okay.
let's see the next video. This one they're trying to like expand. They're playing. They're probably checking out the hearts, trying to see
Oh.
what valve to fix and all. So like you're able to like know how to go about it uh, in the medical field. I think you're
Hmm.
able to like understand what's going on, what's going behind the scene, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Another interesting video that I saw was like Oh yeah, this is the Earth. But there is one company, I don't want to market them, but there is one that you're able to like, if you want to like arrange your setup, you're able to like scan your room, and then it gives you like a range of furnitures maybe that are available, and
Oh.
then you're able to place them together. Yeah.
Hmm.
Instead of going to like buy them in the store and then trying to like fix it in a particular area. So yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that
And
where you, like you said, you can go furniture shopping and then you can place stuff and then maybe you can even order from there. So once you place all the items, then you can say, "This is what I want," order, and it comes right.
or even in the clothing industry, if you want to like buy a certain cloth, you want to like see how it fits on your body,
Mm.
you can just and try to like see how it goes through. For the next video is I wanted to like visualize this on an application, but then we'll get there. So yeah, tell me more about it. So let's try to like mirror our our application and then go about it. But before I continue with the demo, I wanted to like know from you. Do you know like how AR basically started?
How it started, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, it would be nice to like also hear from the rest of the team. But yeah, I think it was from long ago, sometime in the this 60s or something. There was this thing called the Sword of Democles. Yeah,
Hmm.
so it was like an early. It used to like showcase the wireframes and all, and then they were able to like see some boxes and such stuff. But let me try and present my screen.
So this is just the demo app you created for your talk, or this is something in production?
I It's a demo app I created for this particular talk, but I can publish it.
Okay. Well, I have your
Yeah,
full screen now, so people can see it easily.
you're able to like see the white box.
Yes, I see this white box. So there's a she has her phone up with the camera on full screen, and there's a white box floating, and it's kind of scaring me. I watch a lot of ghost movies, so I'm wondering if this is a is this a good white box or
It's a good one. It's a happy box. I'm
it's a
trying
happy
to like
box.
yeah to like turn the camera. Oh my light is
You're gonna
also
have to yeah, push it down. There you go. I can see the box right there. Perfect.
yeah. So I've written it in a way that it has like different dimensions. So the way you
Mm.
revolve the camera, you're able to like see different dimensions, and this is like an improvement of the word of the Marcos, because we are trying to like improve a
Hmm.
bit. Yeah, yeah. And then the other
So
bit
this one
was
basically you can see the different, like if you move your phone around, then you'll see the different like parts of the box, right? Different sides and everything else. Is that
yeah,
correct?
exactly.
Oh,
That's correct. You can actually see the you can see the shadow, the box
hmm,
shadows
okay.
from the other direction of this of the box. Yeah. Oh, it's too bad you can't see it.
Yeah, I can definitely see the box and I can see some darkness, so it's a little bit of a shadow. So you did this whole demo with only Flutter, only Dart, right? You didn't do any native code to make that happen?
No, I didn't add any native code for this. I only
Hmm.
I can actually share my code and probably try to like
Yeah.
explain from there.
While you're looking for that, I'm just kind of curious about that box, right? Is that a default
Mhm.
shape that's within the project, or did you create that with Blender, or how did that box get created initially?
It's basically like a material box that I used. Sort of. It's actually a material box, and then you give it like width, height, and the length of it, and also the position. So whenever you're starting on this thing, um, yeah, you need to like add the plugin first of all. This is the I'm using the AR Kit plugin. The AR Kit it's for the iOS bit, but if you want to like write one for Android, you use the AR core. I don't have an Android device to do tests, so that's why I'm
Hmm.
using the kit. You need to first add the plugin, and then there's something that I noted earlier on while starting this thing is sometimes get into problems with CocoaPods for iOS. So it's always advisable before you add the plugin, you try to like run the application and see if it's running and all. So this is basically just the small thing that I wrote, after adding the plugin. And then since the plugin is a native view, which isn't supported by Flutter by default, so you need to like modify the info.plist. So this is why you are telling me about going native and all and trying to like access it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So on the iOS bit, you need to like modify this particular bit here, and try to like give it access to camera, and try to like give a description of what this particular bit will be doing. So this is where you're editing the native bit of it. And other than that, you just add your ARKit screen view. So on the body view, you, instead of using maybe something like a container or something, now you're using the screen view for the AR. Yeah, which provides some controller for it. So it's very common for this particular AR plugin to come with its very own controller bit. That's why you're able to like first initialize it here, and then
Hmm.
you add node. So here we know everything in Flutter is a widget, right? But now
Yeah.
when it comes to AR, then we don't say a widget, we use node instead. So node comes in place like for the comes in place of the widget. And then now you give your positioning and the geometry for your particular screen view. And that's basically it. And also, since we are trying to like play around with the sort of domicos, I think this information is pretty available for from
Hmm.
Randa. I think he's the one who's been really pushing through with the AR. But yeah,
Now
this basically.
that position argument, that's where it tells where to anchor the box, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So it depends on
Exactly, yeah.
when the app turns on and the camera's there, then it's that position is relative to where your camera's pointing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I was always kind of curious about how does it know where to put this thing? It wasn't
Yeah,
so
so
clear for
that's.
me. Hmm.
Yeah, because you find that whenever you're trying to like run it, and then you're facing your camera in a position, in a certain position, if you move around, you probably won't see the image. However, when you move back to that position, then it gets back to viewing what you are trying to display.
Concept coder over here is saying that Kenya's developers will share many contents, or hopefully Kenya's developers will share many contents on YouTube. It's great to know
Mm,
how they develop Flutter apps. So do you
yeah,
plan to talk about this on YouTube, or your talk is already on YouTube actually, so you can actually go through it already?
yeah, they can actually go through it already, but I'll probably post more content. Another thing, um, can I still add a material? Wanted to like add like to experience like the sort of demicals properly. So you add like a material on it, and then try to like modify it, and you add the AR kits. Do you guys use what's the name, Git Copilot?
I was using it for a short while and I found it not extremely valuable. I don't think it was worth the money for the coding that I was doing, at least. Only sometimes it was useful, but most of the time not so useful.
Ah, yeah, I'm using the student version. They gave me
Yeah.
like a free, yeah, AR kit field mode. So field mode dot lines. So this particular code, instead of displaying the white box that we had, it only
Hmm.
displayed the wireframe, or rather the lines that were initially created by the initial creators of AR.
Of AR.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll be able to like see it because of the lighting and all. Yeah, but we could move to like the next bit,
Sure.
which was, yeah, which was the sensorama. Let me see if I'm able to like show you. So the whole purpose of this particular view, uh, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to like move around, but you're not able to like see properly.
Hmm.
Uh, that's so bad. I was really hoping to like show how it feels, but the whole idea of it is to like when this particular view was created was to show, or rather to give people the illusion of the particular place, or the view of a particular place or a position, and
Hmm.
then you're able, the initial thing was mostly developed for people in New York. They wanted to like feel, see, smell the city and such stuff. But yeah, it was an interesting um, kind of technology that was developed back then. That's what I wanted to like show in through, but then you're not able to like view it from my end.
The people of New York to see and smell and feel the city. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it when I was reading more about Sensorama, I found it very interesting. Like they wanted other people to like, and also they had like is it an emotional chair or what? To like you're seated there. You see like how you wear holograms for VR, and then
Yeah.
you're able to like then what's going behind the scene, and then you're also able to like see the things that are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing.
I don't know. I live in the city and I've been to New York many times. I don't know if I really want to see and feel and especially smell, but I mean, in general, I think most cities are not the most clean and
Me-
everything, but every city does have its beautiful parts, right? I
That's
think I
true.
went to Central Park in New York. It was okay. Going
Mm-hmm.
to like little Chinatown, things like that, it was quite interesting. Um,
Yeah.
Kenya has must have a lot of Chinatowns because I think there's a lot of Chinese influence in Africa recently, right? I don't know about Kenya though. I'm just guessing.
There's a whole lot of influence from
From
everywhere.
everywhere. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
From Nigeria too,
I haven't been to Nigeria. I just know
but
a
I
couple of
mean
things.
Nigerians influencing Kenyans, right?
Do they really? I don't know. Maybe people who are watching could comment. What got you curious about this particular topic?
A lot of people are talking about what is it, metaverse, things like that, and I think AR is also kind of up there for what people are interested in, and I'm also kind of interested in what you can do with with uh with this stuff, like if how useful it is, how what again, what can I do with it? Because I can see a lot of application to that. For the metaverse, I mean, I don't see a lot of application for that. I mean, of course,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of be together, kind of virtually, but I think AR is so much more useful. And actually, I did use AR recently. I was trying to get to a location to pick up an item. I've never been to
Mm-hmm.
this area before in my life, and Google Maps was trying to point me to where the bus stop was. I couldn't find it. And I turned on, there's an AR feature. I don't remember what it's called, but it could show me where it was and actually put a landmark there.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of the most useful features of AR in my life. And I thought that was huge. But the sad part it was it kept taking me back to where I actually came from. I think I couldn't use the app correctly, but if I figured out how to use the app correctly, I probably could actually find the bus stop. Trying on clothes, I think, is probably really also interesting to me. We because we were so close to China, we tend to often buy things from Taobao, which is a local kind of eBay like website,
Mm-hmm.
and things are so cheap there because China's kind of like the world's factory, so you can get a lot of things, and people like to buy clothes from there. And sometimes
Yeah.
it'd be nice to be able to, like you said, try on the clothes through AR and see how they fit. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've seen this before, but there's so many times that people buy clothes from outside of their country, and it comes in and it's nothing like the picture. So
yeah,
you have to kind
exactly.
of
Yeah.
rely. I mean, that's the only problem. Is it going to actually match the AR? That's the tricky bit.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can
Yeah.
do that, that would be nice.
Actually, that was like the whole purpose of creating this particular demo, because I wanted to like showcase such stuff. And also, like you mentioned about the going through, I'm assuming Google uses maps. So there is this mall that we have here in Kenya. It's pretty huge, and people are always getting lost, and sometimes you don't know where the shops are. So the
Mm.
whole other purpose is also to like have create that particular mall, rather simulate it, and then you're able now to like give proper direction using AR, because creating the application using Flutter is pretty easy. Now how do we integrate now the mapping system with the particular shops in the mall now using AR?
That would be really useful, especially if you could pick up on what's around you and know where you are. There was a project I was working on a while ago. When I say a
Mm-hmm.
while, I mean like 5 years ago, maybe more, where we're actually using Bluetooth beacons to help navigate people through locations because
Mm-hmm.
you may not have internet connection or GPS connection, right? And you're also inside of a building. So doing
Yeah.
indoor navigation is very tricky. So we were looking at using Bluetooth beacons for that, but that could also be solved with AR, right?
Yeah, it could. It's actually an interesting bit to like play around with, now that you've mentioned. But I don't have like much knowledge about Bluetooth, integrating apps with Bluetooth.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was using the SDK from somebody else, but I know a little bit about Bluetooth, but maybe not enough to say everything I would like to know. But there's a lot you can do with it. I mean, I heard even Wi-Fi itself. I was talking to a guy who was a CTO of a company that was recently bought by Philips Hue, and they were working on. I mean, they probably came out with it already. It's some kind of sensor that actually uses just regular Wi-Fi, and it can detect if somebody has fallen and turn on a light for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? It works very quickly. It's just somehow able to tell that something moved very quickly and the light goes on. He specifically mentioned the falling case. I think that's probably because that's the market that they're going for. Older people, they tend to not be as stable when on their feet, right? So I think that's what they're
Mm-hmm.
going for, and so that's interesting too. So many of these kind of technologies that like camera, like as we're talking about, like specifically with AR, people always thought camera you could just show things or people, but now you can actually overlay information. We're talking about Bluetooth. You can use that for indoor navigation besides just playing music through it or whatever else. And now Wi-Fi, you can also use that for detecting movement. When
Yeah.
people just think it's just for that, there's so many things that you can do. And more creative where we can be using some interesting stuff. Maybe even combining all of them together.
Yeah, and you can also like recognize like places and buildings that are out there. Yeah. So couple of things to explore.
Yeah. Well, now that you got machine learning, you can hook the two together and get even more interesting data, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Interesting.
So what's kind of next for your learning, right? I mean, are you planning to venture back into some native code and get more into AR for doing the things that you cannot do with what is currently available within Flutter?
Yeah, of course, yes. I've been learning a couple of things on the native side, and trying to like access the native side with Flutter,
Hmm.
mostly with platform channels. But there is another one. There is it the I can't pronounce the name properly. What FFI
Mm. Oh.
JFFI? I can't fully comprehend it. Yeah, but yeah, you get it right.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to like learn more, because I know still Flutter there are so many things that you still can't access using Flat natively. So trying to like learn more on that path, and also move away from the fintech bit of it that I've been really doing a lot, and come back now to other cool stuff that I can play around with. And I found like this AR beats as one of the things that was really interesting to start with.
I mean, I'm interested to get more into AR. Obviously, you've done more than me. Where would you recommend somebody who's new but interested to AR? What should we? Is there some books or videos that I should look at? Should I just dig in with some of the plugins? Do the plugins have enough information that if somebody who's completely new, I can I can get enough information? Like where would be kind of the roadmap of this?
First, recommend for you to at least understand what Flutter is, because sometimes you can't just jump into a framework if you don't really understand it. And then again, it's good to be curious. If you're already thinking about building an AR application, it shows that you're already interested in like building big stuff or interesting things. So yeah, there are a couple of resources out there, a couple of plugins to play around with. YouTube is also there. There is this guy called Alexandra. Is it? I can't pronounce his name properly, but yeah, he's been like a really big move to the AR and Flutter plugins. So yeah, information is really literally out there. So you can always like find what to play around with.
So there's no excuse. Everybody should be able to do this.
You should, yes.
Awesome. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't have any more questions. I mean, you really you gave me the demo. I looked at the code. I feel motivated to start this. I mean, is there anything else that you think that we should know about AR with Flutter?
Well, I think there's a lot we should learn. There's a company already that's trying to like build a story using AR and the native side of it. What's the language again? Forgotten. But yeah, there is a lot, and also there's a lot of improvement that needs to be done, because you find that these are not the so common projects that are being done with Flutter, right? So we need like more people to like contribute to the open source, and improve on the plugins, and probably notify the Flutter team that we need like improvement on this particular view. So yeah, there's a lot to be done, obviously.
Yeah, I know there's never nothing's ever really done, right? As being a developer, you figured that part out. No such thing as done.
That's Yeah, that's true.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on and giving us a demo and walking us through a little bit of your presentation. And like again, I feel really motivated. I need to get moving on this and try this out. Hopefully, we'll have you again on in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was really an honor to be here.